You're listening to the Platform Launchers podcast. I'm John Stange, and it's great to have you with us this week as we're going to talk about building and growing and monetizing your online platform like we do each week. And live on the call with me right now, even as I'm saying these words, we have our members club representing all different parts of the United States. They're from all over the place. I think we have every corner of the United States represented on tonight's call, which is really cool. And I always love recording these podcasts live in front of the group. It doesn't give me much room for error because we're close enough friends that I think some of my friends here on the call might laugh a little bit if I have some errors or goof things up. Although that has happened. I did have a coughing fit a few weeks ago. I edited that out of the recording, believe it or not. But I think I'm in good shape this week. So if you're listening on the podcast, welcome. If you're watching us via YouTube, welcome. It's always great to be able to be with you. And tonight we're going to be talking about this concept of course creation and a simple process that I use to create online courses. Now, give you a little background here. If you've been following my blogs or my podcasts for any length of time, there are probably already a few things that you know about me and what I do. So, in addition to the work that I do in print, so maybe if you're familiar with some of the books that I've written, you've seen some of those things. But in addition to that work, and in addition to the work that I do online through the digital content that I'm creating, I'm also the pastor of a church. And I'm also a university professor. And one commonality seems to really exist between the various tasks that I have to do on any given week, whether it's in the print world, the online world, the church world, or the university world. The commonality is that all my primary roles require me to teach. And that's fine with me because teaching is something I very much enjoy. I'm actually very grateful for every opportunity that I'm given to be able to do that live here on our podcasts, whether I'm doing this in a classroom, church setting, whatever it may be. I really feel and sense a calling to teach and a desire to do that. And in this world of online entrepreneurship that we exist in as platform launchers, as people who are making message-based online platforms, there is a teaching opportunity available to all of us that is absolutely worth taking a look at if you're like me and you enjoy teaching. And I know many of you do. If you're in a communication space, you like communicating. You're good at communicating. You like helping people learn concepts or be encouraged by new things that you're able to pass along to them. And I'm suspecting you wouldn't mind making a recurring income from the opportunity that you have to teach. Well, if any of that interests you, if you like teaching and want to make a recurring income from teaching while helping people in very important and valuable ways, the thing that we need to be talking about, and we're going to be talking about this week, is the process of creating online courses. Now, in recent years, online course creation and the availability of online courses, that's really exploded. I see these things all over the place. I see entire networks of courses that are available. I see people that have subscription services that give you access to a whole variety of courses. It's really neat to see how the availability of online courses has really exploded. I even see traditional universities utilizing online courses as part of their traditional learning opportunities, and more universities and colleges are incorporating that. Even some high schools are incorporating that at this point now. And online course creations just exploded over and over and over again. I see it. People are purchasing them more than ever. There are courses being created on all kinds of subjects. For example, and this will give you a hint on some of the things that I watch in my free time. But for example, I recently came across a course on building a vending machine business. Now, I don't have a whole ton of free time, so I shouldn't really be watching different things about building a vending machine business. But I have to say, I'm intrigued, and I came across a course recently by some people that I consider trusted experts in this because they own arcades and vending machine businesses of their own, but they decided to release their knowledge base in course format, and they're doing a great job, and people are loving it. I also came across a course recently on starting and maintaining a self-service car wash. It's always been a little bit of a dream of mine to own a self-service car wash. I asked my wife recently if she would support that dream, and she said maybe not just yet. She's always very supportive of my ideas, but she wasn't really crazy about one that I found because it was a couple hours away from our house. But that's a subject for a different day. But if I want to learn how to own and run one of those businesses, there are courses that will teach me how to do that that I can purchase online. It's kind of fascinating. But basically, you don't have to look far to discover that a helpful course exists on nearly every subject at this point. Something as random as a vending machine business or a car wash business, or pretty much anything that you might be interested in learning more about. And those who actually take the time to create these courses, in many cases, if they combine a little bit of marketing with it and make sure that they're focusing on a need that's actual, many of them are making a good income. Some are making a side income, some are making a full-time income. I know one online course creator who literally makes, at this point now, the majority of his income through selling online courses. It used to be a side thing, now it's become a main thing, and he loves it because it's freeing up a lot of his time. He used to do a lot of these things live. Now he's recording them, releasing them, and selling them. So, as I mention all of this, some of these anecdotal experiences or things that I found, some of these ideas that I've come across, it wouldn't surprise me if you, as the person listening to this podcast right now or watching us on YouTube, if you had a profitable course idea that's floating around somewhere in your head or in your idea bank somewhere, it wouldn't surprise me if you've got something good already in mind. Because I imagine that most of us, it can be said of us, that there's something we know that someone else would pay to be taught. So I'm saying this to you. There is something you know that somebody else would pay for you to teach them. But here's what gets in the way. And this is where I want to focus the rest of our time. Creating courses, creating online courses specifically, there's a logistical curve to it. And that's what some people struggle to get past because they think, yeah, I want to do that. I want to create them. I want to make them available for people, but they're not sure exactly how to create them. And if they're not sure how to create them, then they're also not sure how to deliver them, and they might not be sure how to market them or get some of these things out there. And so what ends up happening is great course ideas remain kind of locked in the idea phase instead of being available in the marketplace. And we want to change that. So, right now, I'm just going to ask you the question. I want you to be thinking about it in your head, but have you ever considered creating online courses based on the things that you know? If you've thought about it, but you haven't carried it out yet, I'm wondering what's keeping you from doing this? And my suspicion is that you're being held up by the logistics. So I want to take a few moments and I just want to walk through some of these things because what I'm about to share is an outline that will help you overcome some of those logistical hurdles. And again, the logistics is what typically keeps people from actually creating these things. It's not the ideas, they've got the ideas. It's trying to make those ideas reality. And so here's what I do when I'm creating a course. I'm just going to give you the simple metric that I use and the tools that I use when I'm creating a course. And I promise you, it's not difficult. And I'm about to give you a list of things. And this is what I'd like you to do. If you're interested in doing this, and if you've been intimidated by some of the logistical aspects of this, a simple way you can approach this is to just take the list that I'm about to give you and work through it one idea at a time in the order that I give it to you. Meaning, don't worry about any of the other things until you get number one on the list done. And when you get number one done, then focus on number two and then number three. But don't worry about number three if you don't have number two done. Just get number two done, then move to number three. Here's the list. Here's what I do. Starts with this. This is key. This is the foundational thing. This is number one on the list. What I want you to do is to just open your ears. Open your ears. Keep listening for a problem that you are uniquely qualified to solve. And the people that you regularly interact with, they're going to be a good source of ideas for you. And I am certain when you interact with people on a day-to-day basis, there are things that come up that people typically ask you for help with. Certain tasks, or maybe figuring out certain kinds of information, or whatever it may be. There's something that you have an aptitude for that people tend to come to you for help with. They're giving you hints, they're giving you clues as to what you might want to consider creating an online course to help address. You're solving a problem with this course that people regularly ask you to solve. That's why people buy online courses. Most of the time when they're buying a course, they're buying a solution. And sometimes people think these things have to be super long. I think sometimes people are relieved when online courses are short because they've now found a simple and quick solution. But keep listening. This is number one. Keep listening for a problem that you're uniquely qualified to solve. And when you find that, that might be the hint as to what your course should be about. Number two, this is a very short one here, but I just want you to consider a name for your course, even before you develop it. Think of a name. And when you're thinking of the name, what I'd like you to do is to give your course a name that is upbeat, that is hopeful, and that it's obvious. So upbeat, hopeful, obvious. What do I mean by that? Well, something that inspires somebody to actually take action. And something, a course title, you want your course title to be something that people would know what on earth you're talking about. One of the most obvious course titles, the best-selling courses I have at platformlaunchers.com is our $250 a day course. And basically what that course, the title of it is Earn $250 a day from your online platform, or How to Earn $250 a day from your online platform. That is a very obvious title, but it's what the course is about. And I think having that obvious title is helping that course to actually connect with the people that it's meant to connect with. So I would encourage you, when you're thinking of a name for your course, give it a name that's upbeat, give it a name that's hopeful, give it a name that's obvious so people know what the course is about and the problem that it helps solve. Number three on the list is this. This is how I would encourage you to outline your course. All right. Start off with just a welcome lesson. It doesn't have to be very long. It could be very quick if you'd like it to be, but a welcome lesson that welcomes people to the course. And in the welcome lesson, tell them what they're about to learn, like just what it's about. You don't have to go into the details of the learning yet, but just prime the pump a little bit. Let people know. So you got a welcome lesson. You're about to tell them what they're going to learn. Second lesson is you're going to define the details of the subject that you're thinking of. So this is the what is lesson. And you're going to walk people through, you're going to educate them so that you're talking the same language. You're going to talk all about whatever the subject is. You're going to walk them through that subject and explain the details of it even before you get to some of the modules that solve the problems. But that's what you do in part two of your outline. Number three, and this could even be brief, and it's also possible to incorporate this into to the previous sections if you want, but you could also make this a separate part of the outline. You want to talk at some point early in the course about who this is for and how it's going to help. And I think that that's an important thing to keep people motivated to slog through the actual modules. So you want to do this on the early side of the course. You want to talk about who it's for and how it's going to help, because you're trying to encourage people to be optimistic so that they actually follow through learning the content and using the content. After that, in your outline, I would suggest that you do this. Incorporate maybe 5 to 7 modules, unless it needs to be longer. Certain things, I'm creating a course right now that's actually going to have 30 modules. And I recognize that that's a bit long, and it's going to take me a long time to do. But most courses don't need to be that long. Most courses, 5 to 7 modules, maybe an eighth module if that's appropriate. A lot of them, I notice, are 5 to 7 modules. And what you're doing with those modules is you're just teaching the course content. You're solving the problem that someone's coming to you to get solved. You're just solving it in a logical order. These are the steps to solve the problem, one piece at a time. And then your final module, your final lesson in your course is just going to be a wrap-up discussion of all the principles, maybe a summary type lesson. And if you want, and some online platforms offer this, and I've seen people do this more and more, you can also incorporate some form of a quiz or an assessment in that last module. So that's typically how I outline it, right? When I say outline your course, I'm saying have a welcome and what you learned section up front, then define your subject, give them all the details, what it is, talk a little bit about who this is for, how it's going to help, then have 5 to 7 modules that teach the course content, solving the problem in a logical order, and then you're going to have your wrap up slash discussion slash summary and a possible assessment. Outline it like that. You could play around with that outline if you like another idea better, but if you're just starting out, that's a good way to outline a course. All right, number 4 on my course creation process. And I'm saying this for the benefit of those of you that are new to this process. Those of you that have been doing this for a while might already have step 4 part of your list of things that you've already gotten done, but don't underestimate the importance of a good microphone. You don't have to spend a lot of money on one, but if you're going to regularly create online courses, it helps to have a microphone with very good audio. My current favorite, so what I'm recording right now on, is the Shure MV7. I really, really like it. It's a good USB microphone. It was designed for podcasting and other things like that. I get very good audio with it. I record voiceovers with it. I love it. If you want to spend a little bit less money, you could buy something like the ATR 2100, also a very good microphone. I have one right here in my office next to me. It's my backup microphone, but it used to be my primary microphone. And there are other microphones as well that would be useful and good. And I'm just encouraging you, if you're going to be creating online courses, you could actually get away with video that is not 100%, but you can't get away with bad audio. So make sure you have a good microphone. Number 5 on my simple process for course creation is the slide creation. And what I like to do is I like to create lesson slides for the courses that I'm doing. Sometimes I don't even appear on the screen when I'm doing these lessons. I just put my slides up on the screen as a screen share, but I love creating that content with a site called Canva, CANVA.com. It is my favorite slide creation or presentation creation site. There are others out there. I have used others like Visme. I like Canva better. Use whatever you like, but I would encourage you, if you're not familiar with Canva, check it out. The free version is very robust. The paid version is not expensive. I pay a yearly subscription to them. I think it cost me $115 or $120 for the year, and it unlocks a lot of bonus features that I absolutely love. But I create my slides typically with canva.com because it's easy, and they have a lot of good art and design material. It's fantastic. Number 6 on my simple process list is this. You got to record it with something. 4 things you can use to record it. You could use Zoom to record it, and typically that's what I do. Many of my courses have actually been recorded using my Zoom account, and then I download the recording after it processes. But you could also use something like Loom. So I have Loom installed on my computer. I've recorded various things with Loom. You can use Canva now to record certain things. That's something they recently released. You'd also use QuickTime. QuickTime's, if you use like an Apple computer, QuickTime is built into your computer. These are a variety of tools that are accessible to you. Maybe some are, some aren't, but you could use one of those. But most of my courses, to be honest with you, have been recorded using Zoom. I just record it into my Zoom account, and then I download that file after the recording is processed. So that's number 6 on my list. Number 7 relates to editing. And I make some quick, simple edits. I don't edit out all the errors, all the mistakes, anything like that. I don't go hyper about this, but I make some simple edits after the video is recorded using either iMovie or QuickTime. There's other editing software. You might like something else. I use iMovie or QuickTime because I think they're easy, but I don't stress about making it perfect. I just want to make it good. And so what I'm doing is I usually clip the start of the video and I clip the end of the video so that there's no dead space or anything like that at the start or at the end. But if I have a small tongue-tied moment, which I often have, somewhere in the middle of recording the course, nobody cares. So you don't have to worry about that. If you get a little tongue-tied, it just adds some character. It adds some flavor to your recordings. So I just make simple edits with iMovie or QuickTime to just snip the start and then snip the end so there's no dead space at the start or the end of the video. Number 8 on my list is this. I find a place to host the video that can also handle payment processing. My favorite option is Kajabi. I use Kajabi. Everybody has to hear me talk about Kajabi. If they love Kajabi, they love hearing about it. If they don't love Kajabi, they probably don't love hearing about it. I just love running my businesses through Kajabi because it lets me do anything I want. But that's not something I would use if I was just getting started. If you don't have a whole bunch of things that you need it to do, you don't need Kajabi yet. Kajabi's for when you want to do multiple things. It's like a powerhouse that runs multiple things. If you want something that's more basic or free, you could use a platform like Payhip, spelled Payhip, Payhip. And the cool thing about using Payhip is it only charges you if you make a sale. So you can host and sell your courses on Payhip and not pay anything for the hosting. And you could have a paywall up and it has payment processing and all of that. And you could use it for free if you want. And they will just take a cut of your sales. So if you start making a lot of sales, it doesn't really work well to have that free account. You might want to work your way towards something that's not going to take as big of a cut. But if you need something free that'll give it to you for free, it'll host your course for free, do payment processing for you, all of that. Check out Payhip. It's a good option. Payhip. Number 9 on the list is this. You got to figure out your pricing. Your pricing can be anything you want. Whatever the market can bear, you can price your courses at. But I'll tell you, the highest priced courses, sometimes I see people overprice their courses, not realizing what the theme is with the highest priced courses. The highest priced courses you will notice online typically are courses that give the purchaser a financial return. So usually courses that are priced a little higher tend to focus on helping the learner earn income that justifies them paying that high price. But for mini courses that are on like specialty type subjects, sometimes all you want to do is charge $50. And even though that doesn't seem that much, a $50 course, just a simple course that helps solve a problem, you might end up selling more copies of that $50 course than you would an expensive course. And it might feel like, I don't know, $50, that's not a whole lot of money. Sometimes I encourage people, especially if you're just starting out, put a lower price course out like that, a $50 course that solves a simple problem. And then that'll teach you how you might want to make some of your bigger courses in the long run. But for starters, do something simple. Offer a mini course. Have something like that available on your site. For larger courses, I usually charge between $200 and $300, but I know people that charge $3,000 for a course. I know people that charge even more than that. A common one that I do see with some larger courses is also like the $400 to $500 price tag. It's really up to you. For me, I charge around $50 for a mini course, and then for something a little bit larger, I usually stick to between 2 and 300 depending on the nature of the course. That's the list that I walk through. That's my simple list. Those are tools that I'm using. I find them helpful. But let's talk really quickly about marketing your course for a minute. You can market your course in a variety of ways. You can market it to your email list if you have one. You can market it to your podcast audience if you have one. Or if you don't have either of those, I'd encourage you to connect with somebody else, another person of influence or somebody that might benefit from a relationship with your content, another influencer or entrepreneur, and you can pay them an affiliate commission to help you make sales by promoting your course on their platform. I would encourage you to just make it available on somebody else's platform and split the revenue if you don't already have a platform of your own. But even if you do have a platform of your own, you still might find that helpful. There are other platforms that feature courses that I sell on my own platform. And if they help make sales of my courses, obviously the way we do that is we split the revenue. And I'm happy to do that. It's a win-win scenario for everybody. But here's the thing, and this is kind of where we'll wrap up with this subject this week. Creating online courses does not need to be complicated. What I just shared was not meant to be complicated. Even if I mentioned a few tools or resources or a part of the process that you are unfamiliar with, I don't share any of that to be complicated. I'm sharing that because I think it's a simple process, but I'd encourage you to walk through it one step at a time. Only worry about the step you're on. Don't worry about the steps that come after it. Focus on those once you finish the step you're on. It doesn't have to be complicated, but it does help to have a plan. So what I wanted to offer you this week was a plan. What I just gave you was that plan. It's the plan I follow. It's a basic plan I've been using for quite some time. And when I create courses doing this, it seems to work well, particularly if I'm focused on a problem people actually have that I have the capacity or the competency to solve. Now, I'm going to be releasing additional course content very soon in at least two of my platforms. I'm really looking forward to making it available, but I just revealed to you the process that I will be using to create that content. I hope you find it useful. So, as I'm wrapping up, and I'm just saying this rhetorically because I just want you to think about this in your mind. What do you think about all this? So, do you have a course idea that you might be able to bring to light using this same approach? I suspect that you do. And I hope that if you do have something like that in mind, that this is something that you utilize and get that content out there because people need to know the things that you know. Don't let the logistical hurdles or the logistical curve be the thing that keeps you from creating this content. You can get it out there, you can help people with what you know, and I don't think it's a crime for you to earn an income in the process of doing it. This is actual work. But if you're going to be benefiting the lives of other people, I think it's nice when you can earn an income from it. And like we say every week, we're here to build, grow, and monetize your online platform. And I hope that this is another tool in your tool belt as you seek to do just that. But that's it for us this week. Thanks again for checking out the podcast. Thanks again for visiting us on YouTube. I want to direct you over to the Platform Launchers website. You could stop by platformlaunchers.com and you could check out some of the courses we have over there. But one other thing we have over there that we'd love to invite you to check out, and that's our members club. As I finish up this conversation and end the podcast, I'm about to go right back to Q&A with our members club that is live on this call with me. We get to talk about these things and process this in regard to their actual course ideas. And if you ever want to join us for one of these conversations, stop over to platformlaunchers.com, take a free test drive of our membership, and join us live. We'd love to meet you. But in the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you again right here next time. Take care.